Hey, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick heads up. We're going to be starting at 1700. Or I'm sorry, 1900. That's 7 p.m. For all you non-military folks. In the interim, joining us early is always the way to go. Make sure you download the S&P 500 report that we just cranked out. Our research desk just cranked out after the close, including NVIDIA earnings, most up-to-date news, and our bullish on America trade. So this report right here is about 10 grand worth of proprietary hedge fund quality content. So download that now. You can start kind of checking it out as the rest of the folks join us in the room, and we will get started in exactly 3 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Wednesday evening. Welcome aboard our tactical trade alerts brief tonight. We're only going to go about 30, 45 minutes max. The Eastern Conference Finals are on. I don't know if you're into hockey. I am, even though my teams aren't in the conference final, still like watching playoff hockey. It's incredible. So I'm going to keep us on time tonight. Welcome aboard. I am in such a great mood and today, and I was wondering why I was in such a great mood. And man, I didn't forget. A couple of things. If you don't know who I am, I know some of our partners emailed. I'm not going to take up any time tonight, as a matter of fact, telling you who I am, what we do here at Top Gun Options, because I want to keep us on timeline. Here's a video, a welcome aboard video. My background, Top Gun Options, everything is in that video right there that I just put in the chat box. So when you get a chance, you can watch the welcome aboard video. Why do I bring that up? Because today, ladies and gentlemen, is my 5-year anniversary. I guess technically tomorrow morning would be when I was reborn, but folks, 5 years ago this afternoon, what time is it? I was crossing the border now. Yeah. I was probably crossing the border or just getting to the clinic in Mexico with Marcus Luttrell from Lone Survivor, Navy SEAL. There's the picture of us right there. Robert Gallery, All-American from Iowa, played for the Raiders. JT, Black Rifle Coffee. He was a forward air controller. And then JJ, Navy SEAL teammate of Marcus. And again, I want to stay on track tonight with everything else we got to do. But man, it saved and changed my life. Psychedelic assisted therapy. I'm a different human being. I came home. I started the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. So if for current TGO members who've been in here for a while, you've seen all this in action, man. If you told me 5 years ago, laying on that mattress in a home in Mexico on the floor overlooking the Pacific, that 5 years later, Wiz, you and Marcus are going to be in the Oval Office with the President of the United States as he signs an executive order on Ibogaine, I would have laughed. I mean, there's just no way in hell I could have predicted the past everything that's happened. So if you supported our mission at No Fallen Heroes, I appreciate it. If you donated, I appreciate it even more. To date, we've saved hundreds. I think we're probably close to the three. We passed 200 last year. So hundreds of veterans, first responders, and family members. So it's so funny because this afternoon, market closed, Nvidia printed. I'm like, I'm gonna crank out a new report to give the folks tonight. I'm like, why are you in such a good mood? My phone blew up. Happy anniversary from Marcus, JT, and all these guys. So. I mean, technically, I should always be in a good mood, but man, good stuff. I'm so excited about this. Again, not going to talk too much about me tonight, but I helped run a multi-billion-dollar volatility arbitrage firm in Chicago, in the Chicago Board of Trade. The content you're going to get access to in this tactical trade alert service is the content I used to see coming out of GSAM. Goldman Sachs Asset Management, or JP Morgan, or Morgan Stanley, or our hedge fund. I helped start a hedge fund when I was up there in Chicago. This report service, thank you to AI and bots and all sorts of stuff, man. I can sit here and crank out hedge fund institutional proprietary reports that are the best that I've ever seen. I'm going to age myself. I've been doing this for 34 years. 34 years, man. I'm so excited about the service and the content that we're cranking out. It makes my heart smile. So tonight, I'm going to talk about NVIDIA real quick. It was a beat. The stock's flat right now. It might sell the news tomorrow. 4 out of 5 times it has sold the news. I'll show you the NVIDIA report that you could have gotten. And we have a trade on right now, an iron condor out to Friday that's already up 50%. And when the market opens tomorrow and the volatility crushes, we'll probably, I'll close it tomorrow morning for a nice trade. I'm going to focus tonight on our bullish on Merica trade, okay? Which is just with the potential to absolutely print money. I'm talking for a small investment today. Couple grand, if that, you can potentially make a couple $100,000. If the S&P 500 does what? Keeps doing what it's doing. I'm going to talk about the threats. I'm going to talk about all sorts of stuff like that, but I'm going to show you this tactical trade alert on the S&P 500 that is just absolutely insane. So for all the folks, a ton of people just got into the room. Look in the chat box right now. I uploaded that. If you come in late, I forget how this works. If you're in here right now, can you scroll up and see that report, or do I have to re-add it? Somebody tell me right now. Can you scroll up and see it? I mean, I can always re-add it right now, but just for my situational awareness, let me know if you can see the report. It's called SPX December 31 trades. Somebody let me know when you get a chance, and I'll figure out if I have to do that. Okay. Yes, you can see the YouTube link, but okay. Well, all right, here we go. I'll upload it again right now. So I told you to show up a little early, but here we go. Right there. It is loading and boom. Everybody should see it now. Did everybody see it? Now you should see it. Got it. All right, good. Now it's up there. All right. Is why if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. So, NVIDIA folks, after the bell, like I said, we have a trade on right now that's up about 50%. I put out an NVIDIA proprietary report a couple days ago with a nice wide iron condor. All eyes, folks, really are on this. We're going to take a look at the S&P 500 in a couple minutes. We're in a hover right now, or I can go do that right now. We're hovering. We were hovering on NVIDIA. The market was in kind of this pause up here, right? Rip your face off rally, a little bit of a breather, rip your face off rally, a little bit of a pullback, and then nice little bounce. Within a kiss of the 20-day moving average on the S&P 500. The two big things right now are Operation Epic Fury, which allegedly is over with. We're going to call it Operation Midnight Hammer. The Wall Street Journal reported after the market closed, I'll show you right now, a contentious call between Bibi and Trump. Bibi, shockingly, wants to go to war again, and Trump. So all this stuff is in a cauldron right now. But that's also right now. Where do you make money, folks? And if you're, I know, I love how my current TGO members always come to these briefs. You're not allowed to answer. Where do we make money? Is there anybody in this room that can make money off the left side of this chart? Do you trade with a broker that lets you trade over there? I mean, you don't even have to type anything. No, the answer is no. Where do we make money? Here. We make money in the white. Tonight, folks, I'm going to project my thoughts forward in space and time so I can place trades today rather than react to them, right? You make money in the white. Daniel, it is in the chat box. One more time, I'm going to do it. And then you got to join. This will be the last upload of the report. There it is, right in the chat box. Because this is, like I just said, this is about $10,000 report I just put into the chat box. So now I'm done. Okay. Got to make, we make money on the right side of this chart. So that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to show you the quality of this report and what we're doing here at TOPGUN Options. What's my commit criteria? What's my thesis? Well, the S&P 500 just needs to keep doing what it's doing. So let's take a look at this chart real quick. I just went from, this is how old we are. We can say turn of the century. To me, that used to mean 1900, not 2000. So let's do a little tour here. There's Wiz in a fighter attack squadron at Miramar. Sadly, Marine Corps Air Station. It wasn't Naval Air Station Miramar. I was in an exchange tour in a Marine squadron. The dot-com bubble. Pop. We recovered. Then what happened in 2008? There's Wiz standing in the Chicago Board of Trade. I ran over to the CBOE, the Chicago Board Options Exchange, and watched as I was at the VIX pit. It hit 90, whatever it was, 92. It was insane. What happened? Implosion, right? Implosion here in the dot-com boom, implosion here. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, was the biggest failure in the history of the United States, like ever. What do I mean? This is when George Bush was sitting in the Oval Office playing jacks or something like that. And Paulson, his Treasury Secretary from Goldman Sachs, ran into the Oval Office and said, Mr. President, Wall Street's going to collapse. We have to do something. So George Bush, not the naval aviator, the Coke head, George Bush, said, oh my God. So what did Ben Bernanke do, the Federal Reserve chief? He jumped in to save capitalism. If capitalism has to be saved, it's not capitalism. So this is the GFC, right? It's called the global financial crisis. I used to not dress like I was going to my trading firm so I could weave through the Occupy Wall Street protesters in front of the CBOT and the CBOE. They had, in hindsight, they're right. Who the hell do you think you are? Hank Greenberg, who ran AIG, who essentially caused the financial crisis, he should have been in jail. All of those people should have been in jail. Not a single person was ever held accountable for the global financial crisis. Why am I rambling about this? Because everything changed in that moment. Now, thank you, Barack Obama, everybody gets a trophy. Businesses can't fail, markets can't fail, and we've never looked back. Let's take a look at some of the problems. Well, Wiz, what about the COVID crash? I made $2.8 million in 3 weeks, 2.5, whatever it was. I made nearly 3 million bucks. I wrote a book about it. It's called COVID Crash. I made little old ladies and Top Gun options into millionaires. I have a whole Dropbox folder of their case studies. Jumped into safe capitalism. Here is Joe Biden's bear market. Thank you, inflation. And here's the Trump tariff wars, and you can barely even see Operation Epic Fury on up there. Does anybody? I'm just a political science major from South Jersey. Does anybody see a trend in that chart? Things changed. Now you can sit here and you're going to preach to the choir about we're 30. I don't even know what we're at. 40 trillion in debt, and blah blah. Hey man, you're preaching to the choir. Take a look at the chart of the S&P 500 since the 80s. Devondra, it's so funny. I didn't even see that question, and I answered it. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to tell you. So look at the S&P 500. We go back to the early 80s. Does anybody see a trend? It's a hockey stick, folks. So, as an American, I care about being in debt. I care about deficits. I care that the dollar's not worth the paper it's printed on. Guess what? It doesn't matter. And here's a wizism. If you're new to me and everything like that, you're going to get a lot of wizisms. The market only cares when it cares. It don't care right now. It could, but listen to me. Jamie Dimon, Hank Green, all these folks who have houses in the Hamptons and live in, Upper East Side, they need this to go up and to the right. Whether it was the scandemic in COVID or they jump into safe capitalism. Do you not remember this time last year, the Trump tariff wars? What happened? The bond market broke. The Treasury Secretary went to Trump and said, Uncle, the market's going to implode. And he said, stop. So there might come a time when everybody realizes it's musical chairs, the music stopped, and there's no chair. And guess what I'm going to do? I'll pound it into the dirt. Like I said, I made close to 3 million bucks in 3 weeks in the COVID crash, pounding it into the dirt as the smart money, like Bill Ackman, or who's the guy that cried? Somebody cried on CNBC, like, we need to close the markets for like a month and ever. No, we don't. I got bearish trades on, buddy. Just because your long only fund is getting destroyed, that's your fault. So if we continue to move up and to the right, like we've done historically, the trades I'm going to show you in our Bullish on America, folks, this is the most recent freakout. The Donald Trump liberation trade war, boom, and then the Operation Epic Fury. Folks, we're still at war, technically. It sounds like Trump's going to... I'm not digging where we are right now with any of this, to be honest with you. Trump, Netanyahu hold testy call over Iran. Israel worries a bad deal could derail the strikes further, blah, blah. So let me get this straight. We're not going to get all the nuke stuff, and the Strait of Hormuz is going to be a toll booth. So we're going to jump into this report right now. I'm going to step through the threats. So I'm going to show you that as a fighter pilot, I think through all of these things. But, from today, sitting in this awesome brief right now, all the way out, and I'm going to show you on the options chain, we can go 5 years into the future. Okay? And I'm going to go through a couple different cases here. And I'm not a slide guy. You know what? I'm not even going to look at these slides. I'm going to just dig in and show you the damn report. And because we're going to step through it. Here we go. So this is the example of a tactical trade alert, man. This thing is fantastic. I did this after the close. Listen to the NVIDIA earnings, but I cranked this out, folks. So here we go. How do we do in earnings Q1, folks? The highest since Q4 2021. The beat rate, 84% of the S&P 500 versus the 5-year average here. Already talked about NVIDIA. The 10-year, I thought it was going to break, isn't broken, and the Fed's fund rate is holding steady. So here we go. What changed this week? So I'm not going to sit here and read you this whole damn report, but I have everything in here. The ceasefire, the 10-year treasury, the Fed minutes were released this afternoon. That's in here as well. You ready for this? A majority of the Fed governors said we should what? You ready? Hike. I've been saying this for years. Jerome Powell, miserable failure. Cut 50 basis points in front of a presidential election when inflation was raging and the jobs market was allegedly fantastic. He should have hiked 50 basis points. He cut. Talk about political. I have what's going on with Israel and the memorandum of understanding. We're in a binary trade right now. Either we're going to have peace or we're going back to combat. I have Nvidia in here and everything like that. And what the bottom line for the trades I'm going to show you right now are. But let me get to the projections. So today the S&P 500 closed at 74.33. Okay. I'm going to show you 4 different cases. I've modeled this with all my black box, Gucci, everything. I'm a Super Bowl. Okay. And to whoever said that question about debt and everything like that, I'm you. I agree. The S&P right now, if we were in reality, should be half of what it is. It's a disgrace. Inflation has been running above the Fed's 2% alleged target rate for like 5 years. Do you remember Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen, the former Fed chief who became Treasury Secretary? What word did they use about inflation? It's transitory. I guess if your definition of transitory is 2 years, I thought that was a little tighter. So trust me, I'm bipolar and so am I. I don't think any of this should be happening. But you ready? Here's another wisdom. Don't fight the Fed. You can't. You're not strong enough to do it. So let's go. Oh, the Inflation Reduction Act. Don't even get me started, Vicky. We're gonna talk through 4 different scenarios. The super bullish case, if we do about 22% a year, we average 22 for the next 5 years. I'm gonna show you my brokerage account. We're gonna step through a trade. The bullish case, the good old bullish case is 15%. We've been crushing a little bit more than that, folks, 20, 22%. And what's the base case, Wiz? About 10%. And then I even cover the bearish case, right? And I give you the whys. Dude, why are you a Super Bowl? Are you not watching the AI earnings? Now, let me be clear. If you're not in our solo AI service where we trade 10 names in the sector, AI is going to destroy tens, if not hundreds of millions of jobs around the planet and ultimately kill all of us. That's my take on the AI sector. Now, I'm going to print money as that bubble goes up and as I pound it into the dirt. But until that happens, that super cycle is printing money. And this, do you all know, and it's down in the report here, folks. You see all these, I give you all the things here. Do you know about the Trump accounts? I'll scroll down to it. Folks, he signed an executive order 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. The Trump accounts, the Trump IRAs, what do they have to buy? The S&P 500. This is forced buying. You have a government put in these bullish on America trades. Do you understand this? The children's savings, they go live on happy 4th of July, folks. Do you guys understand this? The S&P 500, but by sheer force, has to go up and to the right. It's just a matter of how much. And then I give you, the red line here, the bear case. Okay. Again, this is an eye chart. I want to keep us on time. Got about 20 minutes left, if that. You can read all this stuff. The bullish case for S&P 16 to 22 by, I'm going to show you the trade right now. I get into it all, man. Earnings, the fuel's in the tank, man. Read it. Trump IRA accounts, the structural demand. We have a put. We have a floor underneath this. I go into the AI, blah, 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 and the technical. Folks, look at the S&P 500. Where did I tell you? We make money in the white. The S&P 500 is done with Epic Fury. From April 1st to today, we're like, what have you done for me lately? We're on to the next thing. Now, if Trump starts slinging bombs again, which he doesn't want to do, we could get a little bit of a pullback, but that's an even better opportunity to add to these trades. So, well, Wiz, you're whistling zip-dee-doo-dah, sunshine, lollipops, and unicorns. What if the bad happens? Hey, man, I'm a fighter pilot, and I'm an options trader. Here's the risks. I never look at just, hey, everything's rosy. Iran war. I dig into everything going on. And it's actually binary at this point. The Fed, inflation, rate hike potential. The bond market, I already talked about. Taiwan. Xi Jinping, ladies and gentlemen, gave his generals a date. I think it was 4 years ago. I briefed Top Gun Options members on this speech. He dressed in his Mao outfit in front of the PLA, the People's Liberation Army generals, and said, what? You will be ready to invade Taiwan by 2027. Take a look at the calendar. So Taiwan's still on the board, valuation, concentration risk, everything is in here. I'm telling you, this is about a $10,000 report for high net worth clients. So I give you a mission brief about these trades, and you can sit here and read it. I'd prefer to go, and I put a screenshot of the trades in there. I'm going to go look at the brokerage thing live. I have 2 trades in here, and I show you the potential P&L with super bullish case. For about $3,000 today, I could make $300,000. What if we just get the bullish case? About $100,000. What if we kind of flatline? I lose $3,000. What if we implode? I lose $3,000. How many of you would risk $3,000 today and potentially to make 300, thinking that the S&P is going to do this? I'm going to warn you right now, folks, it ain't a straight line. It never is. We're going to have a bear market. Why? I don't know. We will. The market moves in cycles. I already showed you the S&P 500. But every one of these dips has been bought, has been a buying opportunity. And if we have a dip that isn't going to be bought, I'm not going to worry about this $3,000. Why? Because I'm going to make a shit pot of money pounding the S&P 500 into the dirt. Go read my book on Amazon, COVID Crash. I detail how I'm an options trader, man. I can make money up, down, or sideways. I break down the trades in my 7-step trade plan. A lot of you go to these briefs and the guy or the gal says, you need to trade with a trade plan. And you're like, what? Do you have a trade plan? Can I see yours? Okay, next question. We have a 7-step trade plan we use on every trade. Before I even fire a trade, I know when I'm getting out either for minimum loss or max profit. Okay? So that's the Bullish on America report that I just gave you for free, and I'm done giving stuff away for free. When you join tonight, you also get access to this. How many pages? 16-page, the AI super cycle. These are the 10 names. I'm not going to show you all of them. You can take a screenshot real quick and try and, folks, these are the 10 names I'm trading in our AI portfolio with the 12-month, 24-month target and everything like that. We also have, you will get access to this, the psychedelic portfolio, man. These saved and changed my life. You can print money. And this happened last week. If you know nothing about the psychedelic sector, let me read this to you. So I was in the Oval Office a month ago. Yeah, it was the 19th of April. Marty McCarry, the FDA commissioner, was in there. He was trying too hard. Trump clipped him, or he let him resign. There's a new guy coming in. However, guess who also came into the FDA a couple days ago as a brand new heavy? Dr. Michael Davis. He spent 3 years as the chief medical officer of USANA. USANA is a company using psilocybin. What? You heard me. So unlike Biden's FDA, we, ladies, the Trump FDA is stocking it up with pro-psychedelic heavies. Look at Compass, man. Here's me. Here's the Monday after I got out of the Oval Office. Compass gapped up and it keeps going up. We had a nice 8% pop today in Compass based on that news that a psychedelic executive is now at the FDA. That's unheard of. So this service, folks, I add this stuff and I blast it out immediately. This service is perfect for people who are like, man, I don't have time for your live trade briefs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday mornings. I work for a living. 85% of TGO members work for a living. I've been asked for this type of service for years. Like, dude, can you drop all this into this? I'm like, no, I'd rather jump on a live trade brief and talk. Now with all my everything, I can do this. So all the psychedelic stuff is in here. Compass, I have 4 names, Definium and ATAI. Okay. And Definium's doing great. These are no longer what I used to call lottery tickets, folks. These are legit biotech companies. And Compass is going to have an NDA, not a non-disclosure, a new drug application at the end of this year and probably get approved in Q1 of next year. This name will explode, and you're going to regret not being in it. We're trading the Jan 27 options in this name, a ton of them as Definium Compass. I'm not going to talk too much more about this. I'm just going to tell you, join tonight and you get access to the psychedelic trades. They're all right there in this report. What's this one? Oh, the CBO, Chicago Board Options Exchange. Did you listen to me a couple years ago when I told you? This is the casino, folks. Did you get long-term bullish on the casino when I told you? And if you didn't, it's not too late. Let me show you a 10-year chart of the CBOE. This is when I first recommended it. What was that, 2020? Look at this. Look at the chart. Ladies and gentlemen, options trading is exploding. If you just bought the stock when I told you to, it's up 314%. Now, you might be looking at this chart like, well, I'm certainly going to pull back. Then I'll buy it. Wrong. Buy the CBOE today. Do you know what they're doing? We have 0 days to expiration options, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They're going to daily options. They're going, and I hate this, I won't do it. They're moving to 23/5 trading. 23 hours a day, 1 hour to settle the trades, 5 days a week. I won't be doing that, but this is the house. You need to get in CBOE. If you knew none of this about that name, you failed. You need to be in our tactical trade alert service, man. And it's, I tell you, yeah, record 0 day to expiration, daily volume up 29%. And ladies and gentlemen, this, I just said, it's the house. It's a monopoly. Nobody's opening the Miami Board Options Exchange. They can't. They have a moat. So you need to buy the CBOE with both hands. And if you don't know how to do it, it's right there in this report, okay? So before I show you the bullish on America trade right now, oh, first of all, for everybody who came in late, here's the replay page. Today's market intel brief is on this as a placeholder. As I'm sitting on the couch watching, hopefully, well, I hope they both lose tonight. I can't stand the Canadians or the Hurricanes. I'm rooting for the ads. I will post the replay from this brief on this page. So you can join the Tactical Trade Alert service on the replay page right here, or let me give you the direct link right now. Folks, I don't drink anymore. I can have a glass of wine every once in a while with my bride, having some pasta or steak, but old whiz, a glass of wine meant the entire bottle, probably 2 or 3. Psychedelic assisted therapy destroyed alcohol in my life. Why are you talking about this? Because I used to say 97 bucks a month is a crappy bottle of wine. I guess I can still say that. So for the price of a crappy bottle of wine, you're going to get access to tens of thousands of dollars of institutional reports. I'm going to do 1 or 2 of these a week. I already did 4 this week. Why? Because NVIDIA earnings, and it was a busy week, but I like doing this. I update the AI Super Cycle one every Sunday before the market opens, and I'll probably update the Bullish on America one on a regular basis too. So this is institutional grade research. If you do the annual today, you get 2 months included, man. You're welcome. So the annual saves you money. As a businessman, stay in the monthly for the rest of your life. But being a good dude, do the annual, okay? All right, I got about 15 minutes left. I'm going to show you how to do a Bullish on America trade. I'm going to bring up the S&P 500. I trade SPX. I don't trade SPY. Why? SPX settles in cash. SPY does not. And I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not your tax attorney. I don't play one on TV. I don't know about you, I get better tax treatment trading the index over an ETF. There are people who email me once a year when their annual membership bills and goes, dude, I gladly pay this every year because once you told me about that, I saved 10, 20 grand a year. You're welcome. Go figure that out on your own, but you can Google it and go figure it out. All right, here we go. I'm going to, let me deselect the front months here. I'm going to hop in my time machine right now, folks. You ready? And I'm going to fly as far out into the future as I can. Using options, we can go out to December of 2031. And I have all strikes selected. I'm gonna scroll down. Real quick plug here. If you're like, man, I love all this, I don't even know what the hell an option is. Join Options Weapon School. I forgot to brief you on that. 9 sessions. Look at this. Session 1 is about the market. I don't even talk about options until session 2. So if you're joining or you're thinking about joining and you're like, man, I don't even know what an option is, I got you covered. It's called Options Weapon School. All right, back to the trade here. I'm scrolling all the way down, and you can actually see my current positions down here. Look at this. Based on my bullish on America trade, who was it? Goldman the other day came out and said S&P 8 grand by the end of the year easily. I saw recent, what's his name? Mike Lee said 8,500 or something by the end of the year. So do you think over the next 5 years, and you don't listen to me, you don't have to hold these trades for the next 5 years. I placed a bullish on America trade 5 years into the future. Where? Let me show you. During the tariff pullback, right here, April 27th. How do you remember that? It's my bride Susie's birthday. Last April 27th, I didn't get the bottom perfectly. I'm like, up, half down, buy. I put a bullish on America trade and I got out right around here when I know General Kane, Dan Kane, Raisin, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He didn't tell me any of this, but I'm not an idiot. When I saw Raisin maneuvering a lot of assets to the Gulf, I'm like, I'm going to take some profit. In, what was that? 10 months, this bullish on America trade made, was it 15 or 20 grand? It was a couple 100% in about 10 months, folks. So you don't have to hold these bullish on America trades to expiration. We get a rip, you can close them and put another one on. We'll talk about that in a second. So here we go. Do you think if we hit S&P 8,000 by the end of the year that we could double in the next 5 years? I think we're easily going to do that. But yeah, you know what, Wiz? You could, oh man, the market's closed and they're going to do this to me. Please freshen up. This is why I usually don't do night briefs. So look, the pricing's dead. They're updating the pricing. That's why I'm glad it's in the report. So let's go. I'll just go show you their trades and damn report. Here we go. Where is it? Let's scroll down and go to the first trade. Right here. You can buy one contract of the S&P 500, all 5 years into the future at the 15,000 strike. That's about what is that in the middle? 3 grand or so. Whatever the mid-market on this is, I can't see. I am selling an upside call 1,000 points above it, the 16,000 call against it. If you're new to options, when you buy a call, you're bullish and you come out of pocket. When you sell a call, you're putting a roof on it. And remember, whenever you sell anything, what happens? You get paid. You sell your home, your car, you sell a call option, you bring in money. So if I just tried to buy this 15,000 call on my own, it would be about 10 grand or whatever it is. I can't afford that. But when I sell a call against it, I cut it in half. So this tactic is called a bull call spread. Now I'm going to scroll down and look at the metrics. You ready for this? How many of you would risk, what is that, $1,200 down here? You see it? To potentially make if you'll allow me to round up, $100,000. It's 99 grand. Now, don't look at the probabilities here. Wiz, that's only a 2% probability. There's a 96%. That's using at the money volatility in today's options. That's not forecasting years into the future. I told you about 30 minutes ago, we make money where? In the white. That's why I have 4 pages of a report detailing how this is going to happen. But I wish let me see if it'll maneuver on my, let me pull up my brokerage account and let's see if the pricing will respond here. Where's the 1516? Right here. Let me analyze it. Let's see if the pricing will update. Come on. Yes. So risking 17, 18 to potentially. Look at this. Wiz, let's say we hit 14, S&P 500 14 in 3 years. Well, let's go into the future. S&P 14,000. What's the P&L? Everybody see that down there? I can't move my mouse. It says $41,000. So there's a perfect example. As this trade goes on in time, you don't have to hold it to December of 2031. You know what, Wiz? We just hit 12 grand on the S&P 500. I'm going to close this one bullish on America trade. Great. You made $27,000. How many of you would spend $1,800 today to potentially make $27,000? These trades are no-brainers, period. And let me show you that we at Top Gun Options are moving the market. What do I mean by that? Let me scroll all the way down. You see all this open interest? Thousands of calls? That's us. And it's actually, I'm in a mastermind group and I have they're at big places that shall remain nameless. I turned them on to these trades. My buddy's like, dude, I did 150 contracts the other day on one of those. You know what? And damn it, it's not going to do it, is it? Nah, I was going to say, if you do more than one contract, folks, just do the math. If you double that, Wiz, I'm going to risk, what's that, $3,400. You would potentially make 200 grand. In the live trade brief this morning, I covered, I think, oh, wait, is it open right now? You ready for this? Please don't flash. I did. Oh, this is the accelerated retirement portfolio of Top Gun Options. I did this 14,000, 16,000 call option that I'll show you in a second. About 3 weeks ago, it's up 31%, $6,200. But that's also 3 contracts, folks. This is risking. It was at the time risking 25. I took 25 grand of this $100,000 portfolio and put it in here. It was 25 grand at the time, but today the pricing is, how many of you would risk 20 grand today to potentially make 580? And again, just go out in time. Well, Wiz, what if we hit 14,000 on the S&P? Well, that P&L is $250,000, 240. I call these bullish on America trades, but these are also like Warren Buffett trades, folks. This is what the smart money does. They bet on America. Actually, Warren Buffett sells cash secured puts under the S&P 500 because he knows Uncle Sam ain't going to let us implode for too long, right? Here's the newest one we put on. Let me bring up the options chain real quick. Because when I did this 15-16 3 weeks ago, these strikes didn't exist yet. I think the Chicago Board Options Exchange saw all this options activity and said, you know what? We're going to issue higher strikes. And as soon as they did, look at what's going on in here. So let me show you the new one I just put on. Okay? The 18, let me analyze. I bought one 5 years into the future, 18,000 call. This is my super bullish on America, on the gold line on the chart. And I sold the 20 against it. Now look at the metrics of this trade. Crap, I'll show you in the report. This, and again, the market's closed, they're updating the prices. Let me scroll down and show you that one. Okay. You're risking $1,800 to $1,900, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you would risk $1,900 to potentially make 200,000? And again, I'm going to remind you, you don't have to stay in these trades. Wiz, the Trump accounts in July, we ripped, this time next year with S&P 10K. I remember, I'm going to age myself, I remember Dow 10,000, the balloons on the floor when we had humans on the floor, and the hats. What are we at today? Dow 50,000? So folks, one more time, I'm going to, because it's so funny when I've been talking about this with current TGO members, everybody's like, what's the catch? This doesn't, what do you mean, what's the catch? The catch is, if we crap the bed for the next 5 years, it could happen, I lose 3 grand. What if we just flatline? I lose 3 grand. All right, well, let's put those out of the way. What if we just we have some pullbacks, but we kind of keep ripping up and to the right? I make 97 grand. Well, what if we rip Well, then I make 300 grand. Does everybody understand that? This is everything I just said is in here. Look, you see this? I talked through the entire trade. This is perfect for people like me, to be honest with you. I like printing this stuff out. I sit here with my pen and my highlighter. I'm a paper guy. I love my live trade briefs and everything like that, but this service is made for people also like me who would rather sit here and read stuff. I love flopping on the couch, kicking my feet up and reading this stuff. I made this and I loved reading it, which is, I don't love me, I loved reading it. Does everybody understand that? Exactly, Mike. That's a great point. So this report right here, easily 10,000 bucks of value. Why? Because you're going to get it back. If you do this trade, and if I'm kind of right, you're going to make potentially 6 figures on limited risk. Here we are today, man, sitting in this live trade brief. Ta-da! One of 4 things is going to happen. Well, I guess 5 things. This. If that happens, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to remind you, I already told you, but I'll say it again. I don't care about the 3 grand that I'm going to lose. Why? Because I'm going to pound this thing into the freaking dirt for whatever the why. From the scandemic, I made $750,000 on one trade from Trump. One tweet. Stocks are looking good here. I'd be a buyer of stocks. The next day, the Dow went down 3,000 points at the open. I bought S&P 500 puts at the open. I forget how much I paid. I forget. It was 50, whatever it was. By the time the market kind of bottomed at Dow down 3,000, I forget what the S&P did that day. $750,000. So at TOPGUN Options, folks, I'm going to teach you how you can make money up, down, or sideways, or gentle. And it's all written in this report. Like I said, this service has been a long time coming. I love doing this. I freed up my bandwidth to be able to do this because I'd be doing this anyway. When I sit here Sunday and to get ready for the week, I do my intel gathering. I call my, I have a busy Sunday. The Asian market's open. I was doing this stuff anyway. I'm like, you know what? How about we start throwing this stuff in a report? I run it through my AIs and everything like that, and we are cranking out quality content. Let's say, yeah, Daniel, that sounds about right. 1,800, 1,900 bucks for that trade. If you guys are having options pricing in your, maybe I have to close and reopen my account. I'm not going to do that because I said I'm going to keep us on time. So ladies and gentlemen, one more time, the replay will be on this page, but I'm going to keep us on time. 97 bucks, man. It does not get any cheaper. Oh, let me tell you what I told my existing members today. I most likely am going to raise the price of this. I've been doing this. We did an internal launch to current TGO members who love it. And this is insanely underpriced. That CBOE trade, who is it? I think I have his case study in here. Brent, I don't know if you're in here, man. I asked if I could show that email. Folks, we have people paying off lifetime memberships of 20 grand with single trades here. Where's that email from Brent? Hang on one second. Oh, it's right here. I'm not going to read all this, but I wanted to share the current returns on my invested portfolio with you. The numbers represented as open P&L, blah, blah, blah. Man, it's insane. Look at this P&L on CBOE, S&P 500, all these trades, folks, that I've covered. Look at the subtotals. It's just, this is usually typical for TOPGUN Options members, to be honest with you. And Brent, I appreciate this email. And he says some nice things about the foundation and the work we're doing with that. These returns are unimaginable. My boys, 25 and 30 years old, are eager to learn how to do this. So I have a bunch of other case studies on these slides. I'd rather get my teeth drilled to go through these slides. I'm not a slide guy, but 97 bucks, folks. You cannot beat this. I will, and I told my current TGO members who just joined this service that I will grandfather you in. When, not if, I raise the price of the service, I'll keep you where you're at. So this is obscenely, insanely cheap, and I'm not bullshitting you. When I sent this to a couple of my buddies at firms that shall remain nameless, they're like, well, "Who's giving you this?" I thought you were getting a little jealous. They're like, these type of reports are reserved for high net worth clients. 50 million bucks at Goldman, GSAM, Goldman Sachs Asset Management, um, and now thanks to AI technology and a lot of cool stuff, I can crank this stuff out for an insanely cheap fraction of the price. Okay, I went a minute over. What questions do you have? Let me go show you the member area real quick. Oh, I forgot about that. I am going to go a little long, but not by much. Here is our other service. Here are our other services, but tactical trade reports. You see that right there? So we have an app. You don't have to be on a website, man. I manage TOPGUN options, and I got my E-Trade on here in my app. So you just click on tactical trade reports. There it is. 2 hours ago, I just posted this in here. Update to the Bullish on Merica. You just click on it, and it'll well, it just downloaded. It'll open up right there. Now, that said, that you get when I at everyone, you see that right there. It says at everyone. Everybody will get an alert on your phone. See right there, it says go collab. That you get an alert, so you don't have to be on a website. But underneath the replays right here, there's a welcome aboard video that tells you all this stuff, by the way. But you click tactical trade alerts and view the reports and alerts. You can click that, or you can click here, either one of these. And here's where they're all posted, right? Oops. So over here on the right, you can see 20 May. There's the NVIDIA. There's the last Bullish on America report from earlier in the week. There's the most recent AI report, Psychedelic. Boom. This is fan-effing-tastic. Okay. One more time, I'm going to remind you, if you don't know what you're doing, I'll teach you. Options Weapon School, man. You get 9 sessions. You get workbooks. You get all sorts of cool stuff. It's all right here. You can watch these, the Options Weapon School training, okay? And that is insanely cheap as well, too. Up in Chicago, we were charging, what, $39.95? Like $4,000, $5,000 for these type of training sessions. And $497. So grab the tactical trade alerts for 97 bucks a month. Get 2 months free included when you do the annual. If you don't know what you're doing, you're new to options, grab the Options Weapon School. You'll thank me. But now I'm done. No more free reports, man. If you came in late, I'm not giving you the Bullish on America report. You can join for 97 bucks. Try it out for a month. It's 97 bucks, man. Try it out for a month. You don't like it in a month, cancel. There ain't no surprise, whatever. You cancel, you cancel. You won't get rebilled. But we're the Hotel California, man. Once you check into TGO, a lot of folks don't leave. They love the camaraderie. They love the ready room. Over here, the main member area. Let me just go back a little bit. Any questions before I go? Because I want to get ready to go watch some hockey. There's our general announcement thread and stuff like that. Let me scroll up here. Time for pizza. You bet, Daniel. Clint, thanks, brother. Still the best. Have an excellent evening. Happy anniversary on rebirthing. Thank you, Clint. John, you're welcome. Judith, how many reports a month? That's a great question. Minimum of 1 to 2 a week. So let's do the math, 5 to 10. But Judith, this started like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, to my current members. Let's go take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Judith, I'm going to crank these out because I enjoy doing it. But let's say I'm definitely going to do the S&P 500 and AI weekly because I do that for me, Judith. Sunday night, I need to update and get my stuff together. Why wouldn't I blast it out as a tactical trade alert? Right? Makes sense to me. So a minimum of those two. And then I fire individual ones. Let me show you, Judith. I'm glad you asked this. Let's go look at the member area. What did I do in tactical trade alerts yesterday before earnings? Tactical trade alerts. We posted NVIDIA. I gave a free NVIDIA report, man. And let me click on it right here. It'll open. Pre-earnings brief. I put a trade in here. Let me show you the trade. It's up. And it's probably going to, I'm probably going to close it for a nice profit tomorrow. We're already making money on this Nvidia trade that I posted. Well, the market's closed. The pricing's a little weird. So Judith, long answer, short question. When I see, if you see something, say something. I'm gonna blast out a report whenever I feel necessary. Okay. Carl, where do you join? Right here. Sorry. Trade groups, tactical alerts. Do the annual at 970. Like I said, you get 2 months free. You're welcome, Judith. And Judith, if it's too many, let me know. I mean, I'm having fun doing this. I nerd out with this stuff. Trading's a form of combat, folks. Before I flew combat sorties over Iraq, man, I went heads down for hours, gathering intel, coming up with a plan, contingency planning. Guess what? Those are all in my reports now. That same thinking and methodology I use flying Hornets over Iraq and Top Gun, I put into this. So if it's too many, Judith, like with 2, 3 alerts a week's too many, let me know. Or if you want me to crank it up, I can always do that too. So, all right, guys, I went 7 minutes too long. Let's go watch some hockey. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'll get the replay posted here shortly. I'm not going to do another tactical trade alert launch until like next quarter or something like that. So if you don't join now, God bless you and you know, stay safe. But we're having a blast here, folks, trading at Top Gun options and it's fun. We're making money, and you should see some of the bullish on America returns. I have a whole Dropbox folder of case studies when people post their returns in there. I'm like, I'm grabbing that as a screenshot. Join and be a part of our team. If Adam, do you concentrate only on Power E Trade? No, I do the web-based version. I don't use that Power E Trade or whatever it's called. You're great, much appreciated. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the kind words. Hey, when you join tonight, don't forget you can always chat me if this is another benefit here. Please don't take advantage of it. But over here you see chat. Man, ask me a question, or if you want to share something with me or whatever, you have direct access to me, folks, which is a lot of other folks, other places don't do stuff like that. Okay. Thanks, Wiz. I'm in. Awesome, John. Welcome aboard. Adam, I use E-Trade. You can use anybody, man. I use E-Trade. I've been using E-Trade for years, and I'm used to where everything is. You can use Tasty Trade, Schwab. You can use anything. You don't have to use what I use. But it might help a little bit. When I put out the order ticket, you might be like, this doesn't look like how I trade. Yeah. If I'm going to teach you how to fly a fighter jet, it might be easier for you to be in an F-18 than your F-16. Plus F-16 suck. They're in the Air Force and they're barely on our side. So I'll post a screenshot of this, but most of the platforms have like similar looking stuff. Like you can look at the risk and fly into the future on the trade and do everything. But I'm an E-Trade guy. Ken, I will absolutely be looking at SpaceX. Man, I tried to get in that. I'm still trying. I'm not going to take too much more time. Yes, there will be a whole. I might even come out with a kind of like I have AI report, the S&P 500 Bullish on America reports. We might have a space report because I'm going to be following that stuff. So, long answer to your short question, yes, I'm going to do that. For Khan, does the service include the S&P 500 sniper shots? No. The S&P 500 sniper shots, folks, are live in the live trade briefs. If you're ready to fleet up one day and join our live trade briefs, I do that live. A sniper shot has to be pretty damn quick. It's not me inserting images and reading the Wall Street Journal and stuff like that. Sniper shots. He's talking about our S&P 500 trades, folks. I call them sniper shots, just quick shots of opportunity. Rip here, implosion. Oh, there's two big candles. S&P 500 bull put spread. 20 minutes later, out type of thing. I call them sniper shots. For Khan, you get, if you do options weapons school, session, I think 8 and 9 I've added. Are you ready? I think there's 3 of them down here. No, 2 of them. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to learn how to trade those snipers, if you can't join me in my live trade briefs, Options Weapons School 8 S&P 500 sniper shot methodology, and then how to manage them too. I have a proprietary. You look at a couple candles, it moves. So if you want to learn how to do those sniper shots, and you can't join me in a live trade brief, join Options Weapons School. Okay, Options Weapons School. Here's the link. Good question. But no, it takes, by the time I typed up a report for a con to send out, the trade would already be passed. These type of trades, like the bullish on America trade, man, that's good for the next 3 days, type of thing. They're not immediately timely, like, hey, do this immediately. These are like the AI super cycle report. When you read that one, or even the psychedelic trades right here in the psychedelic report, these are, let's look at one of them. Out to January, let me zoom in a little. These, like on Definium, one of the psychedelic positions, these are out to Jan 28, right? So these aren't, hey man, I didn't get this till later today report. Now I'm screwed. No, you're fine. Sniper shots are in our live trade briefs, which is a whole separate service. Make sense? I hate when people say makes sense, so I apologize for saying that. I don't like when people do that, right? And I was just about to say that, right? Don't tell me, right? So, okay, awesome. All right, folks, went way too long. Now I got to sit there and eat as I'm watching hockey. Good stuff. I appreciate you coming tonight. Join the service. It's $97 a month. You don't like it, cancel in a month, but I guarantee you, you're probably going to end up fleeting up into some other, into some of our live trading services if you have the time. If not, this service is made for you. Tactical trade alerts. Okay. All right, guys and gals, have a great rest of your night. Fights on. Namaste. God bless. And I'll see you guys in our new tactical trade alert service. Fights on, and I'll talk to you guys later. Cheers.